Welcome to Milestone Moments, the show where we explore the journeys that lead to success. I'm Sheila Slick, your host and founder of 5 Milestones. In every episode, we will bring you insights from the minds of entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts who will share not just their expertise, but the milestone moments that have reshaped their journeys and led to significant achievements. So if you're looking for motivation, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and discover the milestones that mark the path to success. Welcome to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. I'm your host, Sheila Slick, and today my special guest is Kasey Jones. Kasey transforms overwhelmed coaches and consultants into Essentialist CEOs, leaders who are both CEO, officer, or the chief executive officer of their business and the chief experience officer of their life. Welcome to the show, Kasey.
Oh, thank you so much, Sheila. I'm so good to be here.
Me too. And I absolutely love that title. So I would love to learn what a chief experience officer of your life is.
Well, what I've seen is, I typically work with people who had a successful run in corporate or working for other people and then went out on their own. And usually we become entrepreneurs with this hope of, the so-called financial freedom and being able to make good money and have this great life. But a lot of us, when we first make this transition, you wind up actually working longer hours for shittier benefits, right? Like you've got a kind of a meaner boss. And so a lot, and we wind up often feeling like there's this trade-off, and that you have to put the business first in order to eventually earn the ability to have a good life while you run your own business. And so what I really work on with my clients is how do you build the strategy and the systems in your business so that you can really reach predictable 30 to 50K months, but without sacrificing your life, while having a good life, while taking vacations with your family and doing the things that you love and having a really kind of rich experience.
So are you helping them in the transition, or once they've already taken the leap and they've left their corporate job, or they're starting the business?
It's a little bit of both. Most of the time, my clients have already started the business, but oftentimes, they're typically in one of two places. They've either just left and are trying to figure out how do they build this business, how do they do it right, or they have been at it for a while and they're looking around and they think, I'm really good at what I do. Why the hell can I not make more money doing it? This shouldn't be so frickin' hard. And so, my work is really helping them zoom out just a little bit to kind of build the strategy and the systems that make the work a little bit simpler and a lot more profitable.
So when you say systems, are we talking software?
No, well, sometimes it's things like automations, but when I think of systems, what I really think about is, what are the repeated actions in the business? So oftentimes my clients, when we first start working together, they built a referral-based business. So they kind of wait for someone to come to them, where they've said, hey, can you help me with X? And my client will be like, oh my God, of course I can help you with that random thing that maybe I haven't really quite done, but I'm smart, I can figure it out. And so they go and they do that thing. But the problem is when you do that over and over again, you basically are always doing everything is a standalone project. Nothing compounds. You're doing everything kind of for the first time every time, which means it's a lot of manual work. And when those referrals slow down or dry up, it becomes incredibly, what do you do? if you've done a million slightly different things for a million slightly different people, it then becomes when those referrals dry up, you're like, well, dude, I don't even know what to do. I don't know where to go to drum up business. I don't know what to tell people I do. And oftentimes what it is that we've spent so much time working in the business that we haven't like really taken the time to work on the business. And what I often say is a lot of my clients before working with me, they don't realize this, but the way I look at it is they haven't built an actual business. They've built a full-time side hustle. It's just a collection of a bunch of random projects that don't really tie together. And so there's a lot of missed opportunity in terms of how do you get really clear on like productizing your offer and having a repeatable system of how you onboard clients and how you deliver like incredible results. And I often think about how you can't improve a process that doesn't exist. And so the only way we get better at what we do, or we take big leaps forward in getting better at what we do and making more money from it, is really building those systems, those processes, and then doing it over and over again and tweaking it and making it better over time.
And that's important because sometimes those repetitions is what'll get you to that finish line, but
Oh, yeah.
it's what gets boring. You lose that momentum
Yeah.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just not going at the pace that perhaps
Yeah.
you wanted. I know that with a lot of the women that I've worked with, one of the things, and it came to mind because you said the word referral,
Yeah.
referral is really comfortable because the work is coming to you.
Oh, yeah.
But having to be consistent with that outreach, that's a whole different arena.
Yeah.
And it's a necessary part, in my opinion, of any
Yeah.
successful business because that's how you're going to grow. That's how you have that system where you're perhaps repeating what's working and what's not.
And it's also where you have more control. If you're always sitting around waiting for a referral, it's you don't control anything, and sucks. That's just not fun at all, right?
We were talking earlier about timelines, but 20 years ago, it was build it and they will come. But the world has evolved
Yeah.
to the point where we do even have tools that'll help you automate some of those processes.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
a lot of people are using automation. So I've been very active on LinkedIn and I
Yeah.
changed the way that I was trying to connect with people, being more intentional.
Yeah.
And it really does connect you with the right people when you're not just sometimes filtering to try and get quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
really made a difference. And it just changed the way that I was connecting with people. It was almost fun rather than feeling like it was a chore.
Yeah, it makes it more human, and I think that's the hard part about that is the trade-off with, like, systems, automations, AI, all of it, is that if we lean too hard into it, we lose the humanity and we lose the purpose behind why we do it in the first place, and it's like, LinkedIn is supposed to be a social network. It's supposed to be about connection and building real relationships, and if everything is automated, it's not, and I used to really love LinkedIn. I would say over the last, 3 or 4 years, 90% of my revenue has come from LinkedIn, but it's not as fun as it used to be because so much of it is automated, so much of it is AI, that it's harder to feel like you're having real conversations with real people, and I used to accept, like, fricking every connection request, and I'm so much less likely to because there's so many of them where I'm like, I know I'm gonna accept this and I'm immediately gonna get a canned pitch, and ugh, I don't want that.
What would be like one key takeaway or a piece of advice to anyone listening that perhaps is waiting on those referrals to feel more comfortable reaching out?
So the biggest thing is, look, we learn 10 times more and 10 times faster from taking action than from sitting around kind of thinking about things. And the emphasis I always make is that, you know, if the challenge is or the goal is that you want to find that financial freedom, then you need to seize the reins and you need to take control of that. And that means, that means reaching out. That means kind of building those relationships. And I think a lot of us feel like that is kind of icky or it's too salesy. But what I always talk about is the idea of if you genuinely believe in your heart that your work can really like add value or help people or solve real problems, then I truly believe you have a responsibility to make sure that as many people that you think you can help know about you and about your ability to help them. Like sales, outreach, all of it, when done well, it's an act of service. It's not, you don't have to think of it as a purely selfish thing. It is about you truly connecting with people who you both feel called to serve and you feel like you really can serve and you really can help them.
So how would you respond to somebody that said, "No, I'm trying to connect," and I'm thinking of that person that's just starting out, and I have some people in mind, and
Yeah.
perhaps I have these conversations where one of the things that they struggle with when they're trying to take that leap is,
Yeah.
well, I'm not gonna have that very same salary the moment that I start working for myself. What are some things that you would say to someone that perhaps isn't happy where they're at now, but they're
Mm.
not taking that leap and maybe 2, 3 years have gone by and they've had that thought because you said take action
Yeah.
in their minds, but they've done nothing about it. They haven't even, like, started a side gig.
So, okay. So I think that whenever there is a thing I want to do and I notice I am not doing it, I know that there are usually two things going on. First, there is something about that that kicks up a fear or a limiting belief or an insecurity of mine. And I need to get curious about why. What is it about that? Why am I scared of it? What what does not taking action do for me? Like how does that keep me safe? Like just get curious about it. It's not about judgment, it's not about a critic, just like genuinely get curious and think about what are the other things in your life where that have made you feel that way. Number 2, every single time. Part of the reason why I am not taking action is because the thing that I want to do feels really big and unwieldy and intimidating, and it's just too much. So my recommendation always is you need to break it down into the tiniest, simplest, littlest freaking steps. So think about what are the first 3 things that you could each thing that you could do in 5 or 10 minutes. It's like, "Oh, I don't know, go on to GoDaddy.com and buy the domain," or "Go update" like, whatever it is. The first 3 things, make sure that they are really, really simple and really, really easy, and then start doing them. And as soon as you come up with those first 3 and you do them, you come up with the next 3 and keep making them simple. The thing to always remember is that when you are doing something new that you haven't done before, inertia is working against you. You are pushing that giant boulder up a frickin' hill, and it's gonna be really difficult at first. And so you wanna make it as simple and easy as possible because what will happen is then you'll start to be like, "Oh, whoa, look at me." I'm like checking off some of these boxes and that hill starts to flatten out just a little bit. You build a little bit more confidence. It gets a little bit less scary and you start to build the momentum. The key is find ways to just get started and also to keep reflecting back on like, what are the emotions that are coming up? Why is this scary? Where does that come from in your life and in your background and in your childhood? And if you do those 2 things, 3 months, 6 months down the line, you'll be genuinely shocked at how much you have been able to move forward and how much you have been able to do.
I like that. So where can we connect with you?
So on every social media platform, it's my handle is a better Jones, but you can also look up Kasey Jones, Kasey with a K, and then also essentialistceo.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Sheila. This was really fun.
I'll leave all of her information in the description. And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. Until next time.